Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is 2025, so happy new year. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. Today I want to go over what I'm calling my hardest working pieces in my wardrobe from 2024. Over on my Substack, I have done an in-depth review of my most worn, my least worn. So if you want like specific data, I'll leave that down below. But today I want to share what I think are the most versatile, and it's funny, I use the Index app, so I have it here, and it actually gives me in my composition what it kind of categorizes as my most versatile items. And I'm going to kind of look through this and decide, like, do I agree, do I disagree? So before we get into that as well, I do just want to share that I am currently 317 days into my No Buy 365 wardrobe challenge. I know, I'm very, very impressed with myself, and I have so many thoughts about this whole process. It's why I write about it pretty much exclusively over on my Substack, and the relationship I have really developed within my own style, how it's kind of affected identity and all those things. I write about it all over there, as well as the data and the outfits. So definitely check that out. But what I did want to tell you, as a result of doing this challenge and it being so life-changing, I actually brought out a no-buy styling course. Now, I wanted to do this because I know in January a lot of people feel very overwhelmed at the thought of the overhaul, the spring cleaning, kind of going ham on all these new things. And I don't think a no-buy has to be one of them. It gets to be something that is very flexible, very fun, and I believe is actually centered around creativity, not making up for consumption or a punishment of any kind. For me, my no-buy has genuinely been centered around creativity and kind of coming home to myself. So I will leave all the links for the no-buy styling course. It's a self-paced course. I've had such amazing feedback on it. People are really enjoying it. And again, I just want it to be something that helps you feel at home in your body and helps you reconnect back to your wardrobe as a place of play. So all the details for that will be linked down in the description box below. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing that I couldn't not mention, because I think over my Substack at this point, it's kind of become like a drinking game. Like every time Harry mentions the Aritzia Effortless pants, the Wilfred pant, take a shot or have a glass of kombucha, whatever's your tipple. But genuinely, these pants, trousers, have been life-changing. I think a black trouser is really my denim, like what most people tend to opt for as like jeans. For me, it's a black trouser. Dave calls them my school trousers, and I'm not mad about it. I feel like that is the kind of cut I like, a little bit tailored, a little bit soft, and as the name would suggest, the effortless pant, they definitely have a little bit of slouch, a little bit of movement. I tend to size up in mine as well, so I get a little bit more fluidity, if you like. But I'm going to insert some images of me wearing it. I just think it is one of those pairs of trousers. I think if I look, let's give you the actual stat, because this was definitely in my most worn. So in 2024, I wore this pair of trousers 53 times, and I'm wearing them right now. Okay, I have them on right now. They are, you're gonna see my bra is gonna show up with the lights, but these trousers, I say they're life-changing because they're just so darn comfy. I feel like when it comes to having a trouser that looks polished, that you can wear with trainers, you can wear with heels. I wear these for running errands, for going to a coffee shop, for date nights. They are that piece of clothing that I can use as like a starting piece, as a way to build so many uniforms, as a way to build so many looks that I always feel really excited to wear. I always feel like me in them, and I feel comfortable. Now, the other reason I'm mentioning these are so hardworking is because I do wash them at home on a low temperature wash, but the way they dry is pure magic. I have never had to iron these, and they have the crease like down the middle of the trouser. It always comes out perfect. I just lay them to dry like over a hanging rail and airer once they come out the wash. So I don't put them in the tumble dryer, but they dry crease free. I don't know how they do it. It's wardrobe magic, but again, even that just makes them so great that I don't have to put them in the dryer. They always dry very effortlessly, and it's one less item to iron, so we love that. So the next item is the earrings I'm wearing. Now, earrings were definitely a staple for me in 2024. They always have been, if I'm honest. I feel like when it comes to getting ready and looking polished very quickly, I don't think you can beat adding a piece of jewelry, specifically an earring, because it's near your face. So if you want to scrape your hair back, if it's greasy, you put an earring in and it's like, yes, I'm dressed, I'm ready to go. At least that's the way my brain sees it. Now, these earrings from Lee Studios are real silver. I know some of their earrings are like brass coated or something like that. These ones are all sterling silver. I also have the Julie earrings, the gold ones, and those two pairs of earrings have been worn to death in my wardrobe. In fact, I think these silver ones have had 42 wears and my gold ones have had 64 wears. Crazy. So they have worked really, really hard in my wardrobe. And again, what I like about these is they're not a cheap earring, they're not a high street earring, but they're also not kind of fully into like the precious metals luxury jewelry category. And what I do like about these is there has been zero tarnishing. There has been, even the ones that are the gold plated, none of the gold has come off, even after wearing them over 64 times. Yes, I'm careful not to get hairspray or perfume on them, but I definitely have earrings around the same price point as my Lee Studio ones that I have to say the gold plating has come off a lot quicker. So I've been really impressed with the quality of these, and I think if I only had this pair and the Julie pair, I'd pretty much be set. So when it comes to bags, there was one that was worn more than any other, and I think if I had to get rid of every bag in my wardrobe, this would be the one I'd keep. And you would hope so given how much it cost me. But it is my Hermes box leather Kelly. Now I have a whole video on this bag with a full review, all my thoughts, the process, etc. of buying her. It's vintage, I brought her pre-loved, so I'll link that somewhere up here. But what can I say? I just think this bag, I love it so much. Again, the box leather, the squishiness. One thing I am definitely seeing now is that the return style, which is what this one is, where I believe they do the stitching on the inside, it's kind of like inside out, which is what gives it this gorgeous like squishy appearance. These are definitely becoming harder to find in the box leather, especially in sizes kind of 32 and 28. Now, I'm still so glad I went for a size 32. When I was first looking at kind of taking the leap on buying my pre-loved Hermes Kelly, everyone was saying go for the 28, go for the 28, but the 32, it fits a lot in. Like, it really does. Like, for me, when I go, if I'm working in a coffee shop, if I'm writing, I actually use this iPad with a little keyboard, and it's small enough that it's not too heavy. It fits in a bag this size very easily, so I don't have to take my laptop. I'm not having to carry loads of things with me. And I think the best thing about the Kelly really is the shoulder strap. So the fact that you have a strap to wear on your shoulder. I took her to New York with me, I've taken her to London. It's obviously, I'm very careful when I travel with her in terms of like actually carrying her as the bag on the aeroplane, etc. But for the most part, it is one of those bags that it looks amazing with a really casual outfit. It looks amazing with a really dressy outfit, and I just love it. I love it so much. It is one of those pieces that I hope I will be able to give to my nieces one day. I see Granny Harry, like 90-year-old Granny Harry, wearing this bag still. So I'm glad to see that she's had so many wears. I do rotate my bags a lot. That's something I do think I'm pretty good at doing, is like using all my bags. But this bag, it was in equal place with my Totem bag, which you can see behind me. That bag and the Hermes one both had 38 wears. So I've used them loads. I can concur that they both are very comfortable bags. Let me get the Totem one. So this is the Totem one. This is the T-lock in the tan color. And I do think this is a bigger bag than people realize. Like, even when you put it in my head, it does feel quite big. It's what I'm actually using today. It's the bag that I have all my stuff in. And I kind of do a little one of those things. But again, even my iPad mini with the little laptop thing, I'll pop this in the description box as well in case you're interested. That also fits inside this bag, and it does do up. I think it's just because I have something sat underneath it. So if I move a few things around, that will, yeah, it actually does up even in, here you go, it fits inside my Totem bag as well. So again, it's a really good size bag for me when I want to take things to a coffee shop, if I'm traveling and I want something where I can still write and do my work. Those two bags have been incredibly hardworking, and again, having a black bag and a tan bag means I'm pretty much covered across the board. Okay, so next item is an interesting one for two reasons. First of all, I brought them after the pair of boots that I thought was going to be my hardest working item. And I still love the original piece I brought. So to give this context, I have the Totem mid-heel boots, which I adore. I still love these boots. I love the leather is super soft. The design is beautiful. Again, the fact you have these stretchy pieces here to wear on the foot, I just feel like they properly go under jeans without getting caught on your jeans. However, something I'm working on for 2025 is to not baby my items as much, because I do think with these, knowing how much they cost me, I was a bit like, oh, I don't want to wear them in the rain. Oh, I don't know if I want to wear them for like 2 weeks on end. And then because it's a very small heel, I do find it needs reheeling more regularly. So when I was in London, I think it was about a year and a half ago, I saw these boots in Massimo Dutti. I don't think you can get them anymore. They were in the sale. And I was like, wait, these are going to be a perfect walking around, like we're talking like 20,000 steps a day boot. It is this boot. So the heel has a little bit more, what's the word? Surface area, is that the word? And so there's more, it's not gonna like, it doesn't go down as quickly. Like I literally got them reheeled when I went to London over Christmas for the first time in like a year since having them. I got them reheeled, and I got them to put one of those soles on as well that means it's not as slippy, but the toe is very, very similar to my Totem boot. I do think the Totem boots are more beautiful, and again, I still wear them loads, but this boot, I have my 47 wears, and I think the main reason I found myself wearing these more was because of this heel. This heel just doesn't need it doesn't need replacing as often. Again, it's super comfy. I will say the leather quality, while very, very beautiful, the Totem leather is more beautiful. And I think because of that, these felt like my, okay, it's raining, I'm gonna do loads of walking, I might be walking through some mud or whatever, like these are gonna be the boots that I'm going to choose. So definitely an incredibly hardworking piece in my wardrobe. The Totem boots did still get worn. I want to make that very clear, but I felt that when I knew I was going to be doing loads of walking, the Massimo Dutti boot was just that little bit more comfortable because I wasn't walking on a small amount of a heel. Okay, the next piece is probably won't come as a surprise to anyone who follows me on Substack, or if you've been following me for a while on my channel, is the And Other Stories relaxed tee. So I have the black one, I have the white one, I have a few other colors that are in the wash as well. And again, I even tried on different tees during my no buy just as like research. I tried the Arquette ones when I was in England, and for me, it's the sleeve on this is like the perfect amount of bagginess. I really love, you'll probably be able to see it easier with the white one, the collar has quite like a wide band. I really love this collar when it's on. Again, if I wear like a choker, like this silver necklace, it sits over the top really nicely. And the cotton is the perfect weight. It's not too see-through, it's not too heavy. I live in LA, so I actually prefer my t-shirts not like that really heavy starch cotton. I like it to have a bit of fluidity. I want it to move with me. And again, I'll show you some images of me wearing these because they really are like a go-to piece. And I know people will say a t-shirt's boring, it doesn't do much, but I think of it as a blank canvas in my wardrobe. I can place it with other items, I can wear it under shirts, I can wear jewelry with it. There are so many things you can do with this. And again, one of the things that I'm so excited for you to see in my No Buy Styling course is I do have a whole section where I show you how I style things. Like I actually help you learn how to be your own stylist as well, from the lens of using what you have in your wardrobe. And you're gonna see a lot of these t-shirts in there because I do think a t-shirt is something that for the most part, most people have in their wardrobe. Even if you don't wear it as like a signature piece, it acts as a layer piece. It acts as something that can be the main attraction. And I'm someone who wears t-shirts for a night out as much as I would for doing day-to-day errands. So the other item I would say I wore a lot in 2024, and if I had to put in a category, I would say this is something that kind of like t-shirts I use a lot. It is shirts. And for me, I like them in all different textures. I have kind of flannel shirts that I will wear as kind of like a jacket. I have cotton shirts. So even this one has kind of like a tuxedo style front, which I really love, dressed up. Again, I'm gonna insert pictures of me wearing these. And even things like, you know, just a classic blue striped shirt, even with the trousers I'm wearing now, like if I was to change this and put this shirt on with what I'm wearing. So if I just had this on with my belt And then the choker, I feel like it's such an easy piece to style for me. And again, living in LA, I don't get to wear, I mean, I do wear my blazers, but I don't get to wear coats very often. So a shirt is a really nice piece to kind of double up as an extra layer. Now, I'm not going to show you any blazers in this video because I have a feeling you will have seen them all before in many of my other videos. And yes, they were a hardworking piece. I think they always will be in my wardrobe. But one thing that I really learned from my no-buy experience was how much a sleeveless blazer is such a great piece for me as someone who lives in a warmer climate. So there are 3 I have in my collection. 2 are super old and 1 was a gift from Dave. So I have these 2 from H&M. I think I bought these like 3 years ago. One is black and 1 is cream. And again, it's the same principle as I would say across my wardrobe. What I like my wardrobe to do is to be able to meet any occasion. I want to be able to dress it up, dress it down in seconds. I don't have to overthink that, oh, I need to buy a certain outfit for a said occasion. So these have been really great. This one was a gift from Dave and I am obsessed. I think there's still some available on the COS website. If I can find it, I will link to it. But again, I'll include some cutaways of me wearing it, but it is just become one of those pieces that I feel incredible in. And again, I think the hardest thing for me is when it gets warmer, like really hot in LA, is everyone I think has pieces of clothing that's just like their own comfort blanket where they feel like, oh, that feels like me. I feel at home in my skin. I feel at home in my body. And for me, that is what blazers do. So being able to really play and experiment with a sleeveless blazer has been so much fun and brought me so much joy in my wardrobe. So in addition to my Aritzia effortless pants, it's fair to say the Abercrombie Curve Love jeans have worked incredibly hard and continue to do so in my wardrobe. I have many styles, some of which I don't think are actually sold anymore in terms of the exact wash or the exact kind of details, but the same shape is still made. I'm going to link those below. And I'm going to put on the screen a mix of me wearing them because this has become my go-to jean. I've talked about this a lot across my other platforms, especially on Substack, where my body just doesn't fit into designer jeans or higher price jeans. And Abercrombie Curve Love, I think, makes some of the best affordable jeans on the market. And they look great. They look like expensive jeans, and that's what I was after. So I have white ones, I have blue ones, I have dark blue, I have black ones, and even ones I didn't end up using this year, I ended up cutting into shorts because of my no-buy. So I was able to make items that I ended up wearing even more using the data that I had and being able to think about how do I make something using what I have. So I think that's pretty much it. Again, there is lots more in-depth talk about style and my no-buy over on my Substack, which is called Harry Styles by Harriet Hadfield. And like I said, with the no-buy course, even if you don't want to do a no-buy, there is still so much detail on styling the pieces you do own. So even if you don't want to do a no-buy, maybe you're doing a low-buy, maybe you just want to look at how to style your existing pieces, there is a whole module inside that course that will show you how to style the pieces you already own. So I'm so excited to hear what you think about the course. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will see you soon for more.